Good morning. My name is Lisa Bender. I'm the president of the Minneapolis City Council. I'll call this regular meeting for October 25th to order and ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Here.
Fletcher.
Here.
Jenkins. Here. Schrader.
Here.
Worsami is absent. Cunningham is absent. Ellison is absent. Goodman.
Present.
Johnson.
Here.
Palmisano.
Present.
Gordon.
Here.
Kano.
Here.
President Bender.
Here.
There are 10 members present.
Let the record reflect that we have a quorum. The agenda for today's meeting is before us. We do have one amendment to the agenda, which I will move on behalf of Councilmember Cunningham, who's absent, which do folks have a copy at their desks? Perfect, which you should have in front of you at your desk. I can also read it in case it is not. I'm happy to read it out loud as well.
Please.
So this would be a motion to amend the agenda to include under the order of notice introductions a notice of intent related to tenant relocation assistance upon the revocation of cancellation of a rental dwelling license. And that will come under the notice of ordinance introductions. I'm happy to answer questions at that time or now. Are there any other amendments to the agenda from council members? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda with that amendment?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. That carries, and the agenda is adopted as amended. Next, we have the minutes from our October 11th meeting for acceptance. May I have a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. That carries, and those minutes are accepted. Finally, I'll entertain a motion to refer any petitions, communications, and reports to the proper committees for the next cycle. May I have that motion?
So moved.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. That carries, and those referrals are made. The next order of business is reports from our standing committees. So we have a number of items coming forward today on the agenda, beginning with the report from the Committee of the Whole presented by the Chair, Council Vice President Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Committee of the Whole brings forward two items today. Item number one is the amended 2020 City Council Committee Calendar, and item number two is the Minneapolis 2040 Comprehensive Plan. I move approval of both items.
Council Vice President has moved approval of the COW agenda items. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, maybe I will just put myself in queue to briefly comment on item 2. This is the readoption of the Minneapolis 2040 plan. I've gotten a number of questions about this. As everyone probably knows, certainly my colleagues, the City Council voted to adopt the Minneapolis 2040 plan last December. We then submitted to the Metropolitan Council for review. In our case, the review items and changes were technical in nature. So there was no substantive amendments requested by the Metropolitan Council when they approved it a month or so ago. So the version coming back to us is now sort of a procedural vote for us to accept the changes that have come forward through the Metropolitan Council process. And so while today is a more technical vote in nature, it also marks the time period starting January 1st where a new comprehensive plan will take effect. And is an important moment because this is when we will really need to make sure that our ordinances and our commitments in policy and in funding through our budget really come to life. The plan is only as good as its implementation. We've had a number of ordinances and policy changes already this year that are in the spirit and along the guidance of the comprehensive plan authored by most of the City Council members who are up here. And as we move forward, as I said at COW, as we move forward, I know that this council's commitment to race equity, to environmental sustainability are front and center, and will maintain those priorities as we go forward with the implementation of this plan. Again, in some ways, this is really the beginning of our process to reach those commitments that we've made to our constituents and all of the people who got involved, thousands and thousands of comments through that process, which will continue into the future. Council Vice President Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to comment that, a big part of the success of this plan will really depend on our ability to partner with other bodies, other jurisdictions, to be able to fully realize the plan, it's really dependent on Metro Transit and our partners at Hennepin County and other entities. And so to that end, all of us are I guess, being challenged to make sure that we're building those relationships in order to bring this plan to its fullest fruition.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Worsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Yes on item 1 and no on item number 2.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes in the report except for item number 2, which has 10 ayes and 1 nay.
Those items carry, and that completes that report. The next report is from the Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee, presented by the Chair, Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam President. We have 15 very newsworthy items to bring forward this morning, so I hope all the media stays to hear about these very newsworthy items. Item number 1 is actually being postponed one cycle. That is the new event center called Quincy Hall. There are some issues to work out with the neighbors. Item number 2 is the opening, or is it a license for Patisserie 46? Item 3 is a license for Hideaway. Item number 4 is a new license for 801 Chop House. Item 5 is a new license for Zetas. And item number 6 is a bond issuance for Friendship Academy of the Arts project. Item 7 is the demolition of a kind of a burned out structure in the 13th Ward. Item 8 are the liquor license approvals, 9 are liquor license renewals, 10 are the gambling license approvals, 11 are the gambling license renewals. Item 12 are the applications for this environmental grant funding round, including the brownfield grants, the tax-based revitalization grants, and Hennepin County's grants. Item 13 is accepting a grant from DEED. Item 14 is also accepting a grant from DEED. And item 15 is authorizing a forgivable loan to Fortis Capital for the revolving loan fund partnership with Living Cities. With that, I'm happy to move all items 1 through 15 for approval this morning.
Councilmember Goodman has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Worsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
No on item number 15 and aye on the rest.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes in the report except for item number 15, which has 10 ayes and 1 nay.
Those items carry, and that report is completed. The next report comes from the Enterprise Committee, given by the Chair, Councilmember Palmisano.
Thank you, Madam President. There are 7 items that I'd like to move for approval. The first 4 are contract amendments of increases to existing contracts, including the University of Minnesota for CAD services, a contract to upgrade our current version of the Bentley Enterprise license subscription, an increase to a contract for the city's website project, and enhancements to LIMS. Item number 5 is a contract to provide medical plans for Medicare-eligible retirees. Item number 6 amends our HRA plan to allow for reimbursement to employees from 18 months from the date of the expense incurred. And item number 7 is an agreement with the University of Minnesota and the Minnesota Historical Society for records related to the Stonewall Oral History Project. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I move all items for approval.
Councilmember Palmisano has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Worsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson. Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
Those items carry, and the report is completed. Next, we'll have the report from the Housing Policy and Development Committee, presented by the Chair, Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you very much, President Bender. There's 2 items coming forward from the Housing Policy and Development Committee. One is passage of a resolution granting approval for Hennepin County Housing and Redevelopment Authority to undertake a project on behalf of 14th and Central. This will include the issuance of up to $4 million and over $100,000 of multifamily housing revenue bonds. And the second item is passage of a resolution approving modified housing improvement fees and reducing those fees for the Condell on Blaisdell project. I will move both items forward for approval.
Councilmember Gordon has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins. Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
Those items carry, and the report is adopted. Next, we will have the report from the Intergovernmental Relations Committee, given by the Chair, Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have one item we're bringing forward today on the report. It's amending our legislative agenda and policy positions to add planning, pre-design, and design funds for a public safety training and wellness center to our capital investment priorities. I will go ahead and move that item and stand for any questions.
Councilmember Johnson has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins. Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
Those items carry, and the report is adopted. Next is the report from the Public Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Engagement Committee, given by the Vice Chair, Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you very much, President Bender. There's one item coming forward, and it may look not very newsworthy, but it's fairly significant. It's going to relates to having the third community solar garden put in the city that is targeted towards low-income households. This will be leasing city property at the East Side Storage Facility for the creation of a solar garden installation using grant funds. And the garden, when it's completed, will provide enough electricity to power 120 to 170 households, and those people who subscribe to it will see a 20 to 30% reduction in their electricity bills. And I will move that item forward for approval.
Councilmember Gordon has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader. Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and the report is adopted. Next is the report from the Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee, given by the Chair, Councilmember Kano.
Thank you, Madam President. And the Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee has one item to bring forward today, and that is authorizing a joint powers agreement with the Police Department and the Department of Public Safety and the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to conduct state and federal fingerprint-based background checks. I'll stand for any questions. Otherwise, I move this item forward.
Councilmember Kano has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins. Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That item carries, and the report is adopted. Next is a report from the Transportation and Public Works Committee, presented by the Chair, Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee is forwarding 13 items. Item 1 is the Special Service District's 2020 proposed services and service charges. 2 is the 2020 non-governmental tax exempt parcel street maintenance assessment project. 3 is the 2020 non-governmental tax exempt parcel street light operation fee assessment project. 4 is the water and sewer service line repair assessments. 5 is the Metropolitan Council Municipal Infiltration Inflow Grant for cured in-place pipelining and sewer repairs. 6 is the limited use permit with the Minnesota Department of Transportation for Welcome Monument at the right-of-way at Washington Avenue North and 3rd Avenue North. 7 is the 18th Avenue Northeast Johnson Street reconstruction project, and that's a designation of the cost and the hearing. 8 is the Girard Avenue street reconstruction project. 9 is the contract amendment with Park Construction Company for Broadway Street Northeast reconstruction project. 10 is the cooperative construction agreement with Hennepin County for traffic signal reconstruction. 11 is the grant application with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources for the 2020 State Park Road Account Program for the resurfacing of Theodore Worth Parkway between McNair Avenue and 29th Avenue. 12 is the bid for Volt and manhole replacement project. And 13 is the bid for the Loadmaster Packer parts and service. Madam President, I move all items as submitted.
Councilmember Reich has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender. There are
Aye.
11. There are 11 ayes.
Those items carry and the report is adopted. Next is a report from the Ways and Means Committee presented by the Chair, Councilmember Warsami.
Thank you, Madam President. The Ways and Means Committee brings 14 items for approval today. Item number 1 is the 2020-2023 Professional Services Agreement with the Minneapolis Public Schools for election administration and related support services. Item number 2 is a Resiliency in Communities After Stress and Trauma program grant from the United States Department of Health and Human Services. Item number 3 is the 2019 Property Tax Special Assessment of Delinquent Utility Charges. Item number 4 is the third quarter 2019 donation report. Item number 5 is a gift acceptance from Deloitte Services LP for Lyle Hodges to attend the Minneapolis Finance Leadership Program. Item number 6 is early approval of 2020 and 2021 capital budget appropriations and bonding authority adjustments for the Public Service Building Project. Item number 7 is an agreement with Formation Studios for sculpture and related work at the Public Service Building. Item number 8 is a contract amendment with Crawford Door Sales Company for Public Service Building Project. Item number 9 is a contract amendment with RTL Construction for fireproofing work for the Public Service Building Project. Item number 10 is a contract amendment with Knudsen Construction Services, Inc. for concrete superstructure work for the Public Service Building Project. Item number 11 is a contract amendment with Top All Roofing, Inc. for roofing work for the Public Service Building Project. Item number 12 is a contract amendment with Kendall Doors and Hardware, Inc. for additional door and hardware supply for the Public Service Building Project. And item number 13 is a contract amendment with Empire House, Inc. for additional costs for interior glazing work for the Public Service Building Project. Item number 14 is a collective bargaining agreement, and this is for the Stationary Engineers Unit 2019 through to 2022. I move approval of all 14 items.
Councilmember Warsami has moved the Ways and Means report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
Those items carry and the report is adopted. Finally, we have the report from the Zoning and Planning Committee given by the Chair, Councilmember Schrader.
Thank you, Madam President. The Zoning and Planning Committee has 4 items for approval today. The first is the denial of a variance appeal for the property at 3754 Pleasant Avenue. The second is the denial of a conditional use permit at 3311 Broadway Street Northeast. The third is the approval of a rezoning at 2546 Johnson Street Northeast. And the fourth is the approval of a rezoning and alley vacation at 2419, 2423, 2435 Marshall Street Northeast, as well as 30, 34, 38, and 44 Lowry Avenue Northeast. And I move all for approval.
Councilmember Schrader has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries and the report is adopted. The next order of business is reports from the special committees. We do have a report from the Executive Committee presented by the Council Vice President, Councilmember Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam President. The Executive Committee sends forward one item today, which is the appointed position of the Director of Labor Standards in the Civil Rights Department. And I move this item for referral to the Ways and Means Committee.
Council Vice President Jenkins has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and the matter will be referred to Ways and Means in the next cycle. The next order of business is the notice of ordinance introductions. We have 3 items, including 2 listed on the agenda, and as well as the new notice from Councilmember Cunningham. First, Councilmember Gordon gives notice of intent to introduce at the next regular meeting the subject matter of an ordinance to amend the zoning code to amend regulations focused on occupancy requirements for accessory dwelling units. This is specifically found in chapters 525 and 537. Second, Councilmember Palmisano gives notice of intent to introduce at the next regular meeting the subject matter of an ordinance to amend the code to amend the length of adopted annual capital improvement program. And finally, Councilmember Cunningham gives notice of intent to introduce at the next regular meeting of the City Council the subject matter of an ordinance amending Title 12, Chapter 244 of the Minneapolis Code of Ordinances related to Housing Maintenance Code, adding provisions requiring the payment of tenant relocation assistance upon the revocation of cancellation of a rental dwelling license. Are there any questions or comments on any of those notices? Seeing none, those notices are given and no further action is required. They will come back to council next cycle. The next is our introduction and referral calendar, and we have 3 items today. First, Councilmember Johnson moves to introduce, give first reading to, and refer to the Public Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Engagement Committee the subject matter of an ordinance proposing to amend the food code for the Green to Go ordinance, which would amend regulations related to recycling and/or organics management systems at public events and markets, and also exempting from some food establishments by providing for front-of-house collections. Second, Councilmembers Cunningham and Ellison move to introduce, give first reading to, and refer to the Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee the subject matter of an ordinance proposing to amend the Housing Code to amend the composition of the Emergency Violation Hearing Board and add rules for hearings related to emergency housing repairs. And finally, Councilmembers Cunningham and Jenkins move to introduce, give first reading to, and refer to the Public Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Engagement Committee the subject matter of an ordinance proposing to amend the code related to offenses to prohibit the practice of conversion therapy. There are 3 related matters noted in the agenda. Are there any questions or comments from council members? Seeing none. All right. Seeing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. That carries, and those subject matters are introduced and referred to the standing committees as described. Finally, we have the order of announcements. Are there any announcements from council members?
Madam Chair.
Council Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to not necessarily give an announcement, but to ask us to take a brief moment of silence to honor the life and contributions of Representative, Elijah Cummings, who passed away earlier this week, and just offer our condolences to his family and honor his contributions to the United States. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Seeing none, we have completed the business on our agenda. We do have 2 items for closed session. That will be chaired by Council Vice President, as I have something in St. Paul. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn to the closed session in room 315 for the items as noted on the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. That carries, and we are adjourned. Thank you.